2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday the 19th of November, and it's International Men's Day, or Friday as the patriarchy would say. And a big happy birthday to Meg Ryan, Jodie Foster, Jack Dorsey and Adam Driver.
7.
Thursday saw the government introduce a new and exciting rail plan in the Commons with Transport Secretary Grant Shapps.
Today I'm proud to announce our integrated rail plan, a £96 billion programme which will transform rail services in the North and the Midlands. The largest single rail investment ever made by a UK government, providing faster journeys, increased capacity, more frequent services, up to 10 years sooner than previously planned.
Well, it all sounded very exciting, but in actual fact, the government are now scrapping the Leeds leg of the HS2 speed rail line, and the £96 billion promised includes money previously announced. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer says the government is once again breaking their investment pledges.
The North of England have been betrayed because the Prime Minister made two very important promises. HS2 all the way to Leeds, a new line. He also promised the Northern Powerhouse Rail a new line from Manchester to Leeds, and that plan's been ripped up. This was the first test of levelling up, and the government has completely failed.
Boris, who spent quite a lot of the day on the train, ironically in the absence of any high-speed services, was put under real pressure about broken promises by Channel 4's Krishnan Guru Murphy.
What we're doing is levelling up across the country.
You've broken your promises.
You're talking total rubbish. This is the biggest investment in rail in the history of the country, or at least for 100 years, and it's a fantastic thing.
The reaction to the dramatic shift in rail policy was almost universal disappointment, particularly for those expecting a high-speed rail link between the East Midlands and Leeds. West Yorkshire Mayor Tracy Brabin says they feel let down.
This is absolutely not levelling up. Instead of new lines built for the 21st century, we're being offered a 20th century upgrade to a 19th century infrastructure.
Liverpool City Region Labour Mayor Steve Rotherham says that both the Prime Minister and the Chancellor have broken their promises.
We were promised grand designs, and now we're supposed to settle for a 60-minute makeover. Today, they've broken their promise to the people of the North. Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham was pleased for Manchester, but says that today's decision will have a knock-on effect across the north of England.
We are one North, and if Bradford is left out on a limb, if Leeds doesn't have the connectivity it needs, that affects us too here in Manchester. And on that test of whether or not it gives us the rail system we need, I'm afraid this plan falls quite considerably short of that.
Priti Patel has already promised to stop 100% of migrant crossings from France. Now speaking in Washington, she's blamed the EU's open borders for the flood of people crossing the Channel. As part of the solution, The Times reported on Thursday that the government's considering a plan for an offshore processing centre in Albania. The Albanian Prime Minister angrily denied the plan's existence, which would have seen migrants flow to southeastern Europe within 7 days of arrival on British shores. But appearing on Sky News, Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab wasn't ruling out the idea of offshore processing for refugees and asylum seekers.
We are willing to look with partners at whether it's possible to do this international processing. The point is, we want to look with international partners at how we reduce the pull factor, so that is the incentives. We'll look at all of the legitimate means of doing that, and we'll do so with our partners and allies.
The killing of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins on the set of Western movie Rust has led to a wave of investigations and now the first lawsuit. Alec Baldwin, who discharged a prop weapon injuring the director and killing Halyna, has been maintaining silence while the investigation's going on, but now a lawsuit filed by script supervisor Marnie Mitchell alleges that Baldwin should have checked the weapon himself before firing it. Her lawyer is Gloria Allred.
In our opinion, Mr. Baldwin chose to play Russian roulette when he fired a gun without checking it. His behavior and that of the producers on Rust was reckless.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Megan chats with Ellen and Will Smith talks tennis. Right after this.
You're listening to the Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Ireland edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform.
3,
The Premier League swings back into action this weekend with new managers at Norwich and Aston Villa. Dean Smith takes over at Norwich after he was fired by Aston Villa. And Villa's new manager is Liverpool legend and former Rangers manager Steven Gerrard. He says he's delighted with the job.
The call came, which was last Wednesday. I pretty much knew what I was going to do because I knew it was the right move for me. I've missed the Premier League and it's great to be back.
Will Smith's been hanging about in London as he does interviews for his new movie King Richard. It tells the true story of Richard Williams, whose daughters you may have heard of. Venus and Serena, yeah? The movie follows Richard's crazy plan for world domination of tennis, which began before the girls were even born. Will popped up on the One Show with the inside track.
You know, it's on the edge of insanity to pursue a dream of this magnitude. It almost demands an absolute rejection of current reality.
It's been almost a week since we've seen Meghan or Harry on television, but don't despair, people. Meghan popped up on Ellen's show on Thursday afternoon to tell a sweet story about when she and Harry were dating, but trying to keep things secret. They went to a Halloween party in costume in Canada.
He came to see me in Toronto, and our friends and his cousin, the four of us, snuck out in Halloween costumes before it was out in the world that we were a couple.
So you went with Harry to a Halloween party, and they had no idea it was the two of you?
No. It was a post-apocalypse theme, so we had all of this very bizarre costuming on, and we were able to just sort of have one final fun night out.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.